Hello, welcome back to Podium Pop. My name is Gracie and I'm here with my co-host Celine. We are on our second episode this week because we are going to be talking about the Indycar race in Gateway, and truly what a race that was. So exciting. I haven't felt that excited about IndyCar in a while because it was so who's going to win this? It was amazing. If you haven't already, go check out our Formula One episode we posted yesterday about the Canadian Grand Prix. And you know what? Make sure you're liking our videos, subscribing, following. I'm not sure why you aren't already. We're clearly. Oh, that's
I don't
a
know
little
if
too far.
I don't know if it flips the camera or not, but I'm putting up the L sign for loser.
Okay, that might be a little too far. That could make them not. W winners. But we are going to get right into our episodes. Let's pop the bottle and get on into it. Gateway, baby.
Gateway, baby. So we were at the Gateway race last year.
Yeah, we were.
It's actually famously where we met Motorsport Marley in person for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were together this past weekend too. So it was actually a beautiful moment.
Sweet. Yeah.
So while it was a pretty chaotic race last year too, but I don't think we when you're at the track, it's hard to really see everything.
Yeah.
So this race was truly probably one of the best IndyCar races I've ever watched.
There was points where multiple different drivers could have gotten their very first win out of this race.
Yeah. Multiple.
It was crazy.
Maybe more than what I can count on one hand, were in contention for their very first race win. And also, it was under the lights. It was prime time.
Gorgeous.
8:15 start time.
Yeah.
And it truly was a masterpiece of a night.
It was a masterpiece of a night, for sure.
Let's back it up first.
Yeah, of course.
To qualifying. Mm-hmm. Well, let's back it up to Saturday. So they didn't have any action on Friday. They just did Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. Last year, they did it on Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Which was very convenient for us because we only had to take one day off work.
Yeah.
We got there Saturday and we went home on Sunday. But this time they moved it. It was on Father's Day. It was a primetime location.
What?
It was also the same day as the Canadian Grand Prix and as the Podium for Le Mans. So it was a big day of motorsport.
Yeah, it was a huge day.
One of my favorites.
It was, great weekend
Truly
overall,
a fantastic weekend. But practices were good, but let's talk about qualifying. Mm-hmm. So we were actually watching IndyCar qualifying while we were also watching Le Mans. Mm-hmm. And we had a couple people there, really actually just one guy there that he watched Formula One, and it's his first time watching Le Mans, and it's his first time really watching IndyCar. So we were trying to explain qualifying to him and breaking it down, and he was like, who's that? Who's this? He watched the Indy 500 with us, but he didn't watch qualifying. So we were kind of going over that. It was actually really fun we had a big group there with us, and we were guessing the times when they put in the 2-lap average. We were guessing what times it would be, but there's a bit of a controversial hot take by some people, but I don't know which side is controversial. But we were on two different sides of the spectrum here. Mm-hmm. Some people loved the ghost car.
Love the ghost car.
And some people hated the ghost car. Personally,
we love the ghost car.
We love the ghost car. It's a fun little feature.
I'd love to see how things are stacking up against each other.
Yes, but other people said that they disliked the ghost car, mainly because they liked the surprise, as they went over the line, did they beat the person's time, which I get, the anticipation there. But I personally love the ghost car just because I think it's just it's fun. It's cute.
I think it's so fun. Yeah. There's also something in me, not that I don't not trust it, there's also something in me that still gets the same amount of excitement. Yeah. When it crosses. And I'm exactly. And so I'm la 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 la, ghost car, oh cool. And then I'm oh my god, there would be one.
Yeah, exactly. So I am a big fan of the ghost car.
Love the ghost car.
Let us know in the comments if you're pro ghost car or
anti
ghost car.
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah.
What's your argument? Mm-hmm. Try to convince us otherwise. But personally, I love it. Yeah. I love the ghost car. So we were watching qualifying, and honestly, the track, the way it was, obviously the later you're going qualifying, the hotter the track is, the more it's warmed up, the better lap time you're going to get. But with qualifying, I'll say that everyone kept it clean. There was no crashes during qualifying, right? Which is pretty rare, I would say, in ovals. In ovals, it's easy for there to be crashes during qualifying because they're quite literally trying to go the fastest possible on this oval. Oval crashes happen quite often, especially at a place like in at Gateway with the high line. It's scary.
Yeah, you're also like out there by yourself, like doing your own thing, getting in a groove.
Yeah. The fact that they kept it so clean, I think, was pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the same can't be said about the race, but qualifying was really good. Yeah. I thought David Malukas was going to have it.
I did too.
Like, he put the time down and everyone was like, damn!
Yeah.
And then Will Power comes through and is like, hey, David, know that we kind of got into it last year. Sorry about that. Anyways, I'm taking your pole position. Thanks.
That happened yesterday to me, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that is so crazy how quick time moves.
Do you want to explain to the viewers if they didn't watch Gateway last year?
Oh, yeah. So last year at Gateway, it was towards like the end of the race. It was truly looking like David Malukas is going to win this. And we were all so excited. David was going to go, was it inside or outside?
I don't remember.
I feel like it might have been inside. I don't know. Don't quote me on this. He was going to go around Will, and then Will hit him and Dave spun out, crash. It was kind of intense. And then, but Will Power thought it was all David's fault when it really wasn't. And then after the race, Will Power went and yelled at David Malukas.
Yelled in his face.
In his face. Got up all in his face, was yelling at him. This wasn't broadcasted, but David did an interview with Georgia almost right after it happened, and you could tell he was still shaking from the crash. And then he was like, I don't know, man. Will Powers came and yelled at my face.
And you know what? I think David Malukas played that perfectly. If a man's gonna come yell at my face off camera and no one's gonna know but me, sorry, but I'm going to publicize it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be like, everyone. I'm gonna play it up and be like, I'm just this sweet little kid. I got into a crash. I didn't think it was my fault. Yeah. If it was my fault, I'm sorry. But this man who has been in IndyCar for years longer than me came up and yelled at me right after I got into a pretty nasty crash.
That's honestly such a shitty move too.
Yeah.
You knew he was crashed out.
No, I know. He's just a little boy. No, guys. Seriously. It really is
pick on someone your own size.
Pick on someone your own size. But he can't because people his own size don't get in crashes often.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of Scott Dixon. Really.
I know, I was going to say, he's not yelling at Scott Dixon.
And he would never yell at Scott Dixon. You know why? Scott Dixon could just give him a look.
Scott Dixon could literally just give him a look.
And I think it would shut anyone up, even Will Power.
Also, I wonder if they have that camaraderie from both being from New Zealand.
Yeah. And being in the game so long.
Yeah, for sure.
They've spent years together. I wonder if they ever flew home to visit home at the same time.
Oh, that's a good question.
There really are a lot of New Zealanders. And didn't they used to have an IndyCar race in New Zealand?
Japan.
I swear I thought there was a New Zealand. Maybe it was Japan, which should still be close to New Zealand.
Yeah, there definitely could have been, and I could just not be remembering.
But there are a lot, because it's what? Marcus, Scott, Will's from Australia.
Will's from Australia?
I'm 90% sure.
You're probably right.
I think Will's from Australia.
Oceania. But, okay, we'll just that.
But I think is there not another New Zealander?
Scotty Mack?
Oh my gosh, I forgot about him. Mm-hmm. No, Will's definitely from Australia.
Oh, really?
So ignore everything we just said in the last minute.
You have to ignore us. Why would you?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, slay.
So yeah, pretty clean qualifying. We thought David would have it. Will Power did end up taking pole.
He did.
Beautiful lap.
Yeah.
Truly amazing. Any other things that kind of happened in qualifying? Pretty standard?
Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get to the race then.
Crazy time.
Crazy time. The race, like we said, amazing.
So good.
Beautiful race. So we start out, and sure enough, David gets the lead over Will Power. And David pretty much leads most of the race, I feel like. Mm-hmm. Or at least most of the first half, for sure. There are quite a bit of crashes that happen throughout. There was an issue in the pit lane that essentially, what was the first crash that caused everyone to go to the pit lane? It wasn't the Josef Newgarden one, was it? What happened first that caused who? Oh, Devlin DeFrancesco.
Yes.
Crashed I don't even know if he crashed it was the first couple laps. Early. And he crashed. There was no one near him. He just lost it. He got into the wall. So then there was a point where everyone was ducking into the pits at the same time. Mm-hmm. And as everyone was ducking into the pits at the same time, chaos is always there. But there was a time where Christian Rasmussen was pulling out.
On fire.
Car literally on fire.
I was like, he's going to have to stop for sure.
I don't remember for sure if the one where Devlin did it, because there were so many. We're just going to talk about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, for one of them, he pulls out car on fire.
Crazy town.
He worked his way up to the front. He was doing fantastic. Christian Rasmussen had a fan-freaking-tastic race.
So good.
So good. The car was so good. He was so good. It came down to bravery.
Very much
like he was utilizing the high line more than anyone else, and he was like, oh, actually, I can kind of rock this.
Was it like he had like 70-something overtakes?
It was crazy. So he works his way all the way up to the top. There's another incident, which we'll talk about. There's another incident. Again, all the cars duck in. Mm-hmm. And then as they were letting him go, him and Scotty Mack, and I think it was Colton Herta, or was it Pato? I think it was Colton Herta, I think. But they were all kind of being released at the same time.
Oh, it might have been Pato.
I think it was Pato.
Yeah.
All being released at the same time. And basically, Scotty Mack gets released and has to take avoiding action because Christian gets released right in front of him and goes right into the high side of the pit lane. Mm-hmm. Scotty Mack had to get out of the way and go to the low side. That caused both of them to get a penalty for improper use of pit lanes, I guess. I don't think Scotty Mack really deserved it because honestly, like, he was taking avoiding action. He would have crashed into the back of him, but who's to say? I don't know. But because of that, he basically was all the way at the back again. Mm-hmm. And he had to work his way up all the way to the front again. And he did fantastic.
No, he did so good.
So Scotty Mack and most of the Penske guys all the Penske guys did not finish the race.
No.
Will Power, he crashed?
I believe he touched the barrier.
He touched the barrier. I believe so. But he didn't touch, there was no one near him.
No, all on his own.
He DNF'd. Scotty Mack had car issues, so he DNF'd just based on issues. He had issues at the very beginning of the race.
Yeah.
Actually, while everyone was leaving the pit lane, his car did not go. So he eventually did catch up and was able to get back in once they, I guess, rebooted the car. But originally he wasn't. He was already having issues from the beginning. So pretty much bad luck of the race. Eventually they did retire the car for that. And then Josef Newgarden had one of the nastiest crashes of the season, I think.
For sure.
It rivals the nasty crash that we were talking about with Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, all of them last year at one of the ovals, I think Iowa or Milwaukee, I don't remember. Iowa. But this one I think takes the cake for the nastiest crash of the year. Maybe, I mean, the ones at the Indy 500 practice sessions were pretty... Colton's and Marcus's.
Yeah, those were scary for sure.
But this one was just so, they were going so fast. Yeah. So who was it? It was Stingray? No.
Louis Foster.
And poor Louis Foster had such bad luck. But essentially what happened is Louis Foster bumped the wall at the top, and then he kind of he lost control of the car. Yeah. He couldn't do anything at this point. So he crashed, he spun a little bit, and then the way that he was spinning caused Josef Newgarden to T-bone him. Mm-hmm. So scary for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when Josef Newgarden T-boned him, Josef Newgarden basically flipped over, almost flipped over the pit lane wall, which if he would have flipped over the pit lane wall and then couldn't slid on, it would be so dangerous for him and, again, all of the people in the pit lane too.
Oh my God,
So it's a really good thing he didn't flip over that. But he was flipping over. But can we just talk about, once again, I swear to God. So we basically came back from commercial break as the accident was happening. I literally, it flashed forward and the car was still in the air.
It was crazy.
It was so crazy. Once again, that's why we need picture-in-picture. But he was literally, he was mid-air as the commercial came back. And I literally blinked and I opened my eyes again. And the AMR safety team guy was literally over the wall, leaned underneath, talking to Josef. While cars were still on track, driving right past me. I was like, the bravery that these people have is insane. And, the dedication to safety, you just do not see that in any other sport.
Yeah.
Sometimes in, Formula One, or even when I was, looking at watching the Le Mans this weekend, there would be a crash. I'm like, okay, where's the safety team?
Like, where are they?
And I'm pretty sure, doesn't Le Mans use AMR?
Le Mans uses marshals because it's FIA.
Oh. Yeah. IMSA uses AMR, safety team.
I believe you're correct. Yeah. And I think, like, well, so Josef had hit that wall and then he kind of kept sliding forward. And so, yeah, like we said, the guy came immediately to do an initial check to make sure he was, like, okay. I think it also boils down to the fact that the AMR safety team travels to every single race. Like, other motorsport series, like the FIA sanctioned ones, need to be on a huge set of people. Yes. Pick your sport, WEC, Formula One, FE, whatever.
Right.
And, it's a long seasons for sure, but, like, I don't know, maybe have, like, 4 groups that you're traveling the first quarter, you're traveling mid-quarter, quarter.
Yeah.
Like, something needs to happen where it's the same people everywhere and that they're well-trained. And these marshals, yes, they are volunteers and they are doing fantastic jobs, but, like, it's nothing compared to the AMR safety team of how fast they get out there.
Yeah. And also just the medical knowledge that they have.
For
like,
sure,
in a real, true emergency. I would rather have the AMR safety team helping me than some volunteer marshals that got trained in 5 minutes, same day. I don't know. I mean, not to take away from the marshals, they do amazing work.
They do a lot of training and, like, they're dedicating their time, and a lot of it is volunteer. Yeah. Something's got to give. It's got to be.
Yeah. But yeah, no, truly, it was just crazy how fast the guy that got there, and the guy literally, like, crawled under this hot, burning car. This, not burning, but, like, hot track.
Yeah.
Hot track, hot car, to make sure that Justin Newgarden knew that someone was there basically helping him. And I just think that's great. And
yeah, for sure.
Luckily that both the drivers were cleared. Louis Foster got out of the car and had to take a moment. I think he was pretty rough. I mean, he had to have, like, because he had, like, the impact and then he got literally T-boned again.
Yeah.
Like, he had to had some type of, like, whiplash or something.
I'll be honest, while all this was happening, I was watching on Fox Sports on my phone because I left my Fire Stick at your apartment.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't logged in, and so my time ran out. Like, I wasn't logged in on my phone and my time ran out. And then I was like, oh, shoot. I don't have, like, my TV. Using my dad's TV provider. So I was like, well, I'll just go watch someone's onboard. And then my dad had, like, texted me the TV provider to log in. I watched over half the race from Pato's onboard. It was addicting to hear their communication.
Yeah.
From, like, team, spotter, drive. Like, so good.
I think that would be cool.
Oh my God, I was obsessed with it.
Yeah. I mean, even during Le Mans, which we didn't have the sound on, but during Le Mans, we had spikes on board on one of the screens later at night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty nasty crash. Let's see. So I'm gonna kind of just go through some of the people that were almost in contention to win.
Yeah.
Because there were so many crashes and so many, like, yellow flags, red flags, that kind of thing, safety cars that happened. There was a lot of opportunity for people to take the opportunity to pit and not take the opportunity to pit. But it comes down to fueling. So a lot of the people that wouldn't take the opportunity to pit, it was like, okay, like, if we get another yellow flag, I'll be able to save enough fuel to make it to the end. But if we don't get another yellow flag, I won't. I'll have to pit one more time to refuel, basically. And that caused a lot of things to kind of be like question marks. Mm-hmm. So, like, at one point, David Malukas was like, he was good. He was ready to go. Another point, Felix Rosenquist was like, okay, I can win this if I don't have to pit again for fuel. Callum Ilott was in that situation where he was leading for a while, and they said if he can hold on to fuel, he'll be good.
It was like 7 laps to go, and then he had to pit.
It was really sad.
I was so sad.
It was sad. Christian Rasmussen at one point was, like, up in the front. Mm-hmm. It was truly like, oh my gosh, anyone could win right now. Yeah. And there were so many people up there that didn't have their first win. Santino Ferrucci was near the front for most of the time. He hasn't had a win. Felix Rosenquist hasn't had an oval win before. Yeah. Callum Ilott would have been his first win. Christian Rasmussen would have been his first win. Honestly, Callum and Christian were trying to get their first podium. Even.
Yeah, for sure.
Who else was up there that was trying to win? Scott Dixon at one point. They were like,
that was
if
crazy.
anyone can save fuel, it's going to be Scott Dixon. And even he couldn't do it. But, like, they're like, they kept talking. Jack Harvey was down in the pit lane interviewing people, and he went up to the people at Chip Ganassi, and they're like, do you think he can do it? And they're like, no, not even Scott Dixon can hold on that long. But, like, no one would have been surprised if he did hold on with that fuel. Like, he's known for saving fuel, basically. So it really could have been anyone's game.
And so, like, restart coming, like, 10 laps to go. I still was on Pato's on board. Also, Pato at one point was like, man, how the fuck did Scott do this?
No, literally, like, of course.
And then his team was like, I don't know, buddy. I don't know. He's just...
like, how is Scott in the front right now? Like, what the heck?
Literally, it was so funny. And his, I wasn't sure. I think it was his engineer kept calling him Buddy or Bud, and I was like, I'm loving this.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know, Bud. We don't know.
I don't know, Bud.
It was so funny. So it was 10 laps to go when we went green again, and it was like, who's gonna be able to finish this out, like we said. And then Scott has to come in, and it was like, whoa, okay, Pato's now leading. Is he gonna be able to do this? But then Pato pit also, and then it was like, okay, is Felix gonna be able to do this? Felix pit, and then we were sitting there, and I was like, Callum Ilott could win this. I was so excited. And I think he did like one more lap.
Yeah, he did like another lap, and then they were like, he ducked in. They're like, oh, he's going to get fuel. Yeah. Kyle Kirkwood was always near the front as well, and he was always in contention. And basically in the very last pit stop of the race, Kyle goes in, Pato goes in. The other issue with this track is that it's such a small oval. So small. It's so tiny, and I guess it's technically not even an oval because it's really, really shaped, because basically the turn for turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, they're not all like perfectly the same.
It's shaped like a carabiner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that makes it, that's one thing about the track, but it's also so small.
Yeah.
So you hit lap traffic. So whenever you pit and where you come out from the pit determines how effective or ineffective that pit stop is going to be, because if you hit lap traffic as you're coming out, but the person that pit right in front of you doesn't hit lap traffic, they're going to pull away and there's no catching them.
Yeah, for sure.
So during the last pit stop, Kyle Kirkwood pulls out first, Pato pulls out right behind him. And unfortunately, Pato thought, oh, this is sick, because right in front of Kyle is my good buddy teammate Nolan Siegel.
Yes!
Surely.
I was like, oh my gosh, Nolan, we can do it.
Surely Nolan Siegel will hold up this man. He doesn't.
It was Nolan? I thought it was Christian.
I thought it was Christian, but afterwards, Pato made the comment about Nolan.
Okay.
I don't
really
know.
thought it was Christian.
I thought it was Christian too.
Because I thought the commentators were saying Christian's name.
But why did Pato make the comment about Nolan?
Good point.
So it was one of them.
A teammate.
Pato thinks it was Nolan. We think it's Christian. One of them, regardless. Pato's made comments in the past about Chevy in general, the Chevy teams not helping each other out.
Yeah.
But like Arrow McLaren, like you really gotta help out your teammates, man.
We could do
something. So the Arrow McLaren, whoever they are, was in front of Kyle. Kyle, they didn't even put up that much of a fight. They didn't stand a chance.
They didn't stand a chance at all.
So Kyle got around them, and then at that point, Kyle pulled away enough where Pato was not able to catch him. And I will say that Christian, he was in third at this point, and it was looking good. I think if Christian had one more lap, he could have caught Pato. He was so close.
He was very, very close.
In the last corner. Like, I was literally like, oh my gosh, Christian. Oh my gosh. But he didn't catch him, but he did get third. He got his first podium.
So exciting.
So it was Kyle, Pato, and Christian Rasmussen.
Kyle Kirkwood, Employee of the Month once again.
Yes.
Have you seen that picture on Twitter?
I have.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
And also, like, this is like the perfect podium for us.
Oh my God, it was the perfect
podium because obviously we've always been a huge Pato fan.
Yeah.
I would say that Pato was like our OG favorite in IndyCar. Sure. And then at one point last year during Nashville, we really fixated on Kyle Kirkwood. The Kirk girls were born.
Our friend group.
And ever since then, we've been huge fans of Kyle Kirkwood.
Yeah, absolutely.
For all of this year, and then obviously the last race last year. We were running around in the paddock in Nashville with our Kyle Kirkwood jerseys in the rain.
What else were we supposed to do?
What else were we supposed to do during a rain delay?
Yeah.
But this year, we have been huge Christian Rasmussen fans, ECR fans in general.
Of course.
Especially with going, a lot of our friends, Marley's worked with them, Andrea's worked with them, and also Java House, I think, is one of the best sponsors in IndyCar right now. Like, they really are doing it right.
Yeah, they're great job.
Great job. So all in all, like, we've been huge ECR fans this year. So to see Crashton. Okay, nickname incoming. See Crashton.
Don't do that.
Christian Rasmussen.
Rasmussen.
We've been trying out some nicknames. And I tried to give him the nickname C-Raz. C-Razzy.
C-Raz is pretty good.
C-Raz. So I'm going to try to get that going.
Yeah, for sure.
But so C-Raz did get third and got his first podium, and he was just so happy.
He was so happy. It was cute.
His team came up to hug him. Eddie Carpenter came up to hug him. It was just truly, it was adorable.
And you know what is something to think about? He didn't do ovals last year.
Yeah.
Because Ed did ovals, and it's like, wow. Well, obviously, like, that's Ed's team. He wants to race. Like,
right.
Wow, I would have loved to see what he could have done last year on the ovals.
No, honestly. But I think that truly the ECR car is much better this year than last year.
That's true, yeah.
So I'm almost glad that this is when he's getting the first opportunity to do ovals.
That's true.
But for him to get his first podium on a track that he's never done before, as Buddy.
Did he do it in Indy next?
He said he made a TikTok saying he's never done it before.
Oh, he's never done it before. Okay. Which also I believe it was Will Buxton, pointed this out that the podium was all winners of the Indy Lights.
Wow.
Kyle
that is cool.
was 18, Pato was 21, and I think Rasmussen was 23.
That is really cool, actually.
Isn't it? And then he was like, the IndyCar ladder is working.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's just such a good podium and such a good group of guys. And I think all three are going to be long-term talents in IndyCar. So being able to see their podium together. God, I wish I was there in person. The podium looks so fun. And also, can we talk about, like, Christian in general? Like, all of them, but mostly Christian at one point, like, watching the podium, sprays someone, like, directly in the front row in the face. Like, I'm talking, like, he literally shakes it and goes, like, in their face with the champagne. I was like, oh my, like, I love being sprayed with champagne on the podiums. Don't get me wrong. When they, like, spritz it into the crowd, if he went right for my face, I'd be like, Christian, what the fuck? You will be getting a hospital bill.
I think it's pretty funny.
It's hilarious when it happens to someone else.
I would. Did you see Ella's video?
No.
Ella, we've met her at a few IndyCar races last year. She made a video and she was like, I am soaked I'm drenched in champagne from the podium.
Because they did it even last year, like Josef Newgarden was spraying the crowd last year at Gateway Podium. But like again, it was like
we're still to the side of it.
But he didn't do that. He didn't go that hard on anyone.
Well, oh no.
It was like nicely in the air and it was like sprinkled in the air. Like no, like Pato and Christian in general were quite literally like spraying it directly on people's faces.
I think it's hilarious.
And it's just crazy. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared.
You got to be prepared.
For sure.
If you're going to the podium for IndyCar, you got to be prepared to be walking away with the champagne up your nostrils.
Yeah. No, let's maybe take a shower before you drive home.
Yeah, maybe. Cop pull you over like, ma'am, have you been drinking today?
You're like,
no. You're like, you're never going to believe this.
Yeah. And I'm like, I have video of it.
I have video of it.
It's on Fox Sports.
Yeah. Do we want to do our champagne pops and champagne problems? We forgot to do that in our Formula One episode. Sorry, guys. Guess you'll never know.
Yeah.
Probably for the best we didn't do it before the Formula One episode.
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but...
Yeah. Okay. Who is your champagne pop?
Christian, for sure.
Christian.
Yeah.
Same here.
I mean...
I'm so excited for him. Like, I feel like my heart fills with joy when I think about him being on the podium for the first time.
Yeah, very exciting.
I hope I want to see him on a podium this year.
Yeah.
And also the fact that we like I said, we love Kyle Kirkwood.
Did you mean in person?
Yeah, what did I say?
You said I'd love to see him on a podium this year, and I was like, we just saw him on a podium.
No, I meant like I want to see him on
You
the
would
podium.
like to be at a race where he is at
my eyes need to be on him in person on a podium.
She would like to be sprayed with champagne.
Yes, I would love that actually. I would truly love that. Yeah. What was I saying?
Champagne pop.
Oh, Kyle Kirkwood. Mm-hmm. Kyle Kirkwood and Alex Palou are the only two race winners of the year so far. And I truly think that this one means a lot because Kyle has gotten the title of being the king of the streets, which love that nickname. Yeah. I'm all for it. But I think, him winning this oval shows that he can win at other tracks. And he can challenge Alex Palou at other tracks. And he can challenge the big dogs. He can challenge Penske. He can challenge Chip Ganassi, like that kind of thing when he's at these tracks. So it truly is like we're seeing right now Kyle Kirkwood's best season he's ever had. And it's really just unfortunate that Alex Palou is also having the best season he's ever had by like a crazy amount because he's had a lot of really good seasons. Yeah. So like I truly think that if this was a normal, like a typical season and he didn't have like Alex Palou dominating, I think he would have a real good chance of winning the championship.
Mm-hmm. Both him and Pato are like 70 points behind.
Oh yeah, no, it's not happening this year. It's not happening. Deliver. We were watching this weekend with the Outside Line Media guys, and they were talking, and they're like, "Yeah, like we're hoping he cinches the title at Mid Ohio." It was like obviously a joke. I don't think statistically he's able to do that, but it was like a funny joke. We're like, "Yeah, we could see him win. Like we could see him win the title." But which is crazy because last year we did actually see him win the title with the points because it was.
Which is also crazy to think about that it went all the way to the very last race.
Yeah,
last year.
And this year it's so different. And once again, Alex Palou is having he's had such success in IndyCar, and he is still having the best season he's ever had.
Like he's still
progressing. It's just unfortunate for Kyle that his best season he's ever had is lined up with Alex Palou's best season he ever had.
You know what? I mean, we're going to have to see how the cookie crumbles.
We're going to have to see how the cookie crumbles.
I'm pretty excited for Road America next weekend.
No, me too. I won't be able to watch it. I'll be on the road. So I'm going to need you to give me some direct reports back.
For sure.
What time is it at? Maybe we could watch it on like our phone.
I think Road America is around like afternoon.
Afternoon?
I don't really know. Don't quote me on it.
The IMSA race doesn't end until like early evening, so.
On Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Goodness.
Yeah. Champagne problem?
Champagne problem.
Mine's Penske.
Hey.
They had 3 DNFs. 3 out of 3 DNFs.
Sure.
Truly, they're having the worst luck ever this year. Some of it their own fault. Some of it truly not their own fault. Like this weekend, it was nothing. They couldn't do anything. It just... I would have more sympathy for them on weekends like this if they didn't have situations like in the Indy 500 qualifying or situations where St. Pete last year. Like, if they had less of those and this weekend happened, I would truly feel bad for them. But I don't because of that.
No, I don't personally. I'm giving my champagne problem to Mr. Louis Foster.
Yeah. Poor buddy.
Poor buddy.
2 in a row. 2 nasty crashes in a row.
That's,
Because last weekend, or last race weekend, he had that nasty crash with Felix, and this one he had a nasty crash with Josef Newgarden. And while the one last weekend wasn't his fault, his car did still take out Felix, and now his car took out Josef Newgarden. So, but he's such a good racer. I don't know. I'm interested to see
new team. He's a rookie.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see what he can do at a high level team, like with a good car. And I do fear about Marcus Ericsson's seat next year at Andretti.
Well, what are your fears about that?
I don't think that they're going to re-sign him.
Really?
I don't think so.
He hasn't had a bad season.
Yeah, but he's not, other than the Indy 500 weekend, which he did get disqualified and not his fault, but he's not consistently up there with Colson and Kyle last year or this year. And even the commentators were talking about how they basically were he needs a race win this year to secure his seat. Because I mean, if you think about it, when is the last time that he's won a race? It's not been last year or this year so far. Colton's had race wins since then. Kyle's had many. Mm-hmm. Colton also is not going anywhere. Nepotism.
Well, nepotism for sure.
So if they want to bring in new talent, which they need to, otherwise somebody else is going to get Louis Foster and the new people coming in. Mm-hmm. Do you think Dennis Hauger is going to come to IndyCar next year?
There's not a doubt in my mind that he won't have a seat. I'm scared about space. I don't really know whose contracts are up, though. Yeah,
some people, they got to go. And I'm scared that Marcus Ericsson is one of them. And I'm going to be sad about it because I love Marcus Ericsson, Chicken Banana. Marcus Chicken Banana Ericsson.
Yeah, for sure.
I do love him. MCEB.
Yeah.
I love him. But I do think that Andretti should look into bringing on Louis Foster, bring in a rookie. People are also saying that Nolan Siegel isn't going to have a seat next year, and he's going to go to the United Autosport, McLaren endurance program.
Pretty great endurance.
He would do fantastic. Yeah. He has done fantastic.
Yeah,
he's literally won Le Mans in LMP2. Yeah. So, are
we sure TK is going to let that happen though? That's his son.
I think it may be above TK's head.
Well, Zach Brown said, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah. And again, they're in a situation where they tried to do something. They tried to bring in the most promising rookie and develop them, but he's not catching on to things as quickly as possible. And it's hard because this is his first full season with the team, but he had enough races last year, enough races this year that he's just truly like not at the pace with his other teammates.
Yeah.
And Christian Lundgaard came in technically new to the team, so he had to relearn everything. And he is performing much better than Nolan Siegel is.
I mean, they were about even this race finishing. Got past for
consistently.
Sure. Not him potentially having a Nick DeVries moment. But Nick DeVries is killing it over in endurance racing.
Yep, he's doing fantastic. He did great in Formula E.
What is happening to the light?
I don't know.
It's not the light, it's my computer itself.
I don't know. It happened earlier and I just ignored it.
I wonder if, I know, I did too. I wonder if it's because the sun is setting outside and it's like changing. I don't know.
Maybe.
Sorry if the lighting's been a little off today. I'm really sorry. I don't know.
It's fine. We make sure, again, like she said, if you haven't listened to our Formula One Canadian Grand Prix recap, you go watch that. It was posted yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And then also this weekend, make sure you keep an eye on our socials. I am traveling to Watkins Glen. Woo!
I'm so jealous.
For an IMSA race. I wish Gracie was coming with me. She's going to a wedding. She's got a wedding. But me and Marley are traveling up there. It was a very spontaneous trip, but I'm super excited. Watkins Glen is on my bucket list, so I'll go back with you next year.
We're going to have to manage our expectations on next year.
Yeah, because we're trying to go to Spain, in June.
Yeah.
It might be a bit much.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But so keep an eye on our socials because I'll be posting while we're there. Keep an eye out for the Watkins Glen hot dog review because I will be posting that as well.
Want to bring me back one?
I don't know if it'd keep.
Probably. By the way, when I went for Father's Day, it was like with my family. My dad was on Instagram and he goes, "In Ohio, hot dog review." I said, "Yeah," and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "That's like our shtick." And he goes,
"He's liked them before."
No, for sure. And he was like, "Oh, that's so great to have a shtick." And he was like, "Your shtick's hot dogs?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's hot dogs."
He's like, "I raised you better."
No, and like the fact that he raised me, and also every time he'd be like, "We're grilling out. What do you want?" "I want a hot dog."
Hot dog, Dad? A hot dog on the grill.
So we were a big grilling family, so it was like every other day.
Me and Marley are going to be grilling on our fire pit this weekend. We're glamping.
Don't give it away.
Hot dogs, you can eat raw.
I understand that.
I mean, they're gross. They're really cold, but like they're cooked already. That's the greatest thing about hot dogs.
Do you eat cold hot dogs?
No.
Well,
But it doesn't, I always get nervous cooking any meat that I'm not cooking it enough. But I don't have that fear with hot dogs because they're already cooked. It's just bologna. It's a bunch of bologna.
why did you tell me that?
I actually don't know if it is bologna.
Don't say
I made
it's
that
bologna.
up.
I really don't like bologna.
Oh. When's the last time you had bologna?
Never.
Okay. Anyways, on next week's episode, Grace is going to be trying bologna. Fried bologna.
No.
Fried bologna is literally a hot dog in a flat form.
Stop talking. Literally stop talking.
I'm gonna cut up pieces of fried bologna, and cut up pieces of hot dog and see if you can taste the difference. Keep in mind, I don't know if this is true or not.
You're speaking misinformation to the internet.
Yeah, I like lying.
You can't say that when we're supposed to be giving people factual information.
I never said that I never lied. Enter at your own risk.
You're ruining it.
To my knowledge, I've never purposely lied about motorsport. I have said things wrong. I was wrong, but I never purposely intentionally lied about motorsport, only about non-motorsport things like bologna and hot dogs. And even now, I'm not intentionally lying. I'm just saying it could be a lie.
This has gone so far.
Yeah, let's wrap up the episode. We're done.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, thanks for listening once again. In the comments, let us know if you are pro ghost car or anti ghost car, and why.
For sure.
And try to convince us, if you are anti ghost car, convince us otherwise, because unfortunately I'm in love with that little thing.
Yeah, give it a shot though.
Give it a shot.
Could be fun.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.